Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me as always, and thank you for your continued support. So, okay, I've done videos before on universal credit and on legacy benefits as well, and about how much of a struggle it can be just making ends meet on those benefits. And part of this is because, you know, if you're trying to cheat the system, you're trying to get every single penny you can out of the system. Most people, the majority of people, only claim what they can, and therefore that often is not enough to keep them going for very long at all. And when you're making the change from legacy benefits to universal credit, you have to wait about 5 weeks before you get any money. Now, of course, that during that 5 weeks you might have to pay rent, obviously you're going to have to buy food, you might have to pay council tax, and very often people will take a loan from the DWP to pay for those things during those 5 weeks. But of course it's not free, you have to pay it back out of your universal credit. So it starts a cycle of debt if you haven't got one already. And the article that I'm talking about here is going to mention some of that. In fact, my wife has gone through the transfer from legacy benefits to universal credit, and it's very hard. You know, it's very difficult in terms of trying to make ends meet. I know there are some comments on here that have said that I'm making money on here and I'm getting loads of money from the clicks I'm getting. Believe me, I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't received a penny from this channel yet, and when I do, it's going to be very small indeed. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this to try and help people, to try and bring people's attention to these things, and hopefully give them a heads up of what may be coming. So let's have a look at this interview anyway. Okay, so they're saying that 2/3 of UK benefit claimants with debts have gone without food. Now, this comes from a report which was suppressed by the Conservatives. So, you know, just goes to show you the Conservatives, you know, I'm not a Conservative, I'm not a Tory. I'm very well aware what they try to do to the country. I'm very well aware that there are loads of reports that they did not publish because they felt it would be damaging to them, and this is one of them. 2/3 of benefit claimants with debts have been unable to buy food, according to a damning official report that Labour says was suppressed by the previous government. Some have been driven into debt because they were not able to access benefits, and 81% of universal credit claimants in debt ran out of money before their next payment, always or most of the time. And this has been published by the Labour Party because they're saying they want to be transparent and let people know what's happening to people's money. They found that UC claimants with debts were less likely to be able to find work or better paid jobs because they could not afford to travel. Some feared being locked forever in financial instability. 1 in 5 owed £10,000. The report is one of 31 that Liz Kendall has published that were created by the Conservatives and never revealed, which is just goes to show what they were like. Some of the reports date back to 2018, and none of the 4 work and pension secretaries during that time chose to publish them. It goes on to say, this is a new era for DWP. This is what Liz Kendall has said. We are determined to be open and transparent. The public should know what their money is being spent on and how policies are created. White Tory insiders say it's not clear why many of the reports were not released, since they were not politically uncontroversial. Yet some offered a challenge to the policy of Sunak, Truss and Johnson that focused on benefit crackdowns and the introduction of universal credit. Claimants wait 5 weeks for their first payment. They do indeed, and often need an advance which must be repaid, reducing their income. Charities say the £395 a monthly payment for an adult over 25 is not enough to survive. And it goes on to say that a survey of 3,899 claimants who have borrowed with credit cards, personal loans or payday lenders, family and friends and loan sharks. It was conducted in 2022 and reveals the DWP officials were aware of the heavy toll being taken by the poorest welfare recipients, but obviously the government chose to do nothing, which again doesn't surprise me. It's some of the people that fall into debt because of lifelong money problems, while others are plunged into the crisis by health problems such as cancer and relationships breakdown. It goes on to talk about someone who was diagnosed with cancer. He was a builder and went into tens of thousands of pounds of debt because he couldn't work. And he said, if those benefits were in place from the start, I wouldn't be in debt in the first place. People interviewed by DWP researchers said they were unable to save money. They could not cope with emergencies such as broken fridges or fridge freezers, or the need for a new baby bottle or school uniforms. Where participants felt they had no hope of improving their financial situation, the mental health impacts were particularly devastating. Some felt so hopeless to change the situation that they had considered a word which I can't say on YouTube, and several indicated that they were no longer cared what happened to them. Only 1 in 20 UC claimants in debt said their financial situation had no impact on their mental health. This is absolutely true. This is absolutely true. I know a lot of people who have been in this situation, and people who aren't in that situation just don't understand it. You know, and as I said before, there are people that do try and cheat the system. Usually they're the ones that try and claim every single penny they can get, whether they're entitled to it or not. The vast majority only claim what they're entitled to, and very often that's not enough. Let me know down in the comment section what you think about this. What you know, has this affected you in any way? Have you had to consider these things because of particularly the weight from legacy benefits onto universal credit? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section.